Hey, how you doing, everybody? As always, this is JD Lewis with Untamed Conversations. Today, I have a very special guest who I've known for quite some time. She's actually helped me out with a few houses that I've owned. This is my friend Fredda.
Hi everybody, and hi JD. And JD, I just want to thank you for this opportunity to get spotlighted a little bit, and I hope that I can share some things in this tonight that are helpful to someone.
Of course, anytime. I was definitely looking forward to having you on. Your experience in your career and kind of your life experience, I wanted to get that on here and let people listen and kind of. There's a lot of different things I want to talk about today, so let's start with Fredda, pretty much how we met, how long we've known each other. I'll kind of let you take that because I met you through my cousin, so I'll let you take that.
So it all started with your cousin Pat's dad and mom.
Hmm.
He started off being my electrician. And pretty soon he had a house he needed to sell. And I met your cousin Pat at the house when I was selling the house for his parents. And he was just such a nice young man, and he was working so hard, and he really impressed me. And when it was his time to buy, he used me, and then we sold that house and he bought again. And then right around that time, he connected me to you,
Yep.
and we found the right house, and it was a wonderful experience. And it's also, and just recently, you shared some people that were your family that were renting.
Hmm.
And I don't typically do a lot of rentals,
Yeah,
but
and that I knew. I just figured if I was going to find anybody, I said, you know what? Even if Freda doesn't do it herself, I know she has somebody that'll help. So I had to kick it your way.
I loved this group of young gentlemen. I enjoyed working with them. They had the same respect that you gave me, that Pat's always given me, that his parents always give me. Jim and Susan, I couldn't remember the name for a second.
Yeah.
And I'm so ultimately delighted that when there's a culture that is of surrounding yourself with family and friends that are as kind as you are, and everybody I deal with, it's funny when you first get into real estate and you take a lot of training. One of the training is that you should drop the blanks, right? They're the people that are rude, that are
Yep.
crude, that are yelling at you, that are unappreciative of your time, disrespectful,
Hmm.
all those things. And they say, what are they going to do? Refer their equivalent friends?
Yep.
So when I get a good family, I love
Yeah.
to hold on to them and continue helping them and their friends. And I just love that they introduce these people to their friends and their family in this really gentle way of saying, hey, you could trust this person. Because in real estate, if you were to ask me the single most um, important thing that an agent can do well, it is to establish trust with their clients. The second thing is to actually use that trust well enough to execute it by giving them really great guidance. And of course, in order to do that, that takes a lot of experience. And I know you were talking about having some friends earlier when we were getting ready for the podcast. You mentioned, what would you recommend to agents starting out or agents having a hard time? And this is a bad market. I mean, this market, I could talk about this market for a little while if you want. This market is, for instance,
Yep.
right now, what do you think the average list to sale ratio is of a house if you're a buyer in a bidding war? How much more over list price do you think you need to pay in order to succeed as the buyer on average?
So this is probably an absurd number that I'm throwing out there, but I'm going to just say 25%.
It's going to get there. And it is an absurd number, but it is where we're going. It's right now between 10 and 20. Now, if
Wow.
I took
Oh.
all the sales in, say, the town of Trumbull last year, single family only,
Mhm.
it was 6% over asking on average in my company. Of course, Coldwell Banker is the top company.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
professional agents, but that's a big office of 140 agents
Hmm.
on the listing side, 6% on average over asking. Year before, 3% over. Year before,
Mhm.
100%. Year
Yeah.
before, 98. Year before, 96. This is uncharted territory.
Yeah, it's sorry, real quick.
Oh, go ahead. No, seriously, it's uncharted.
I know when we were looking for our house, just for example, obviously I believe so we talked a few times and I remember you said you guys are going on your honeymoon, you're going to Aruba, relax, don't worry about it. Because we had found a house, then we all decided, collectively, you know what, that's not the house for us. We go on our honeymoon, and I remember, I think it was the last 2 days of the honeymoon, we had chatted, you, me, and Tara.
Right.
Listen, I told you don't worry about it, but the house we're in now, it happened to pop on the market, and not gonna lie, I mean, you were with us from step one to the end, and we were terrified. I mean, it's never easy. It's definitely scary, and if I'm not mistaken, I'm almost positive, but I think you remember too. We got the house for under asking, and that doesn't happen much. Um, I know you were like, and we trusted you big time. You're like, listen, we're gonna go in with this. I didn't even question it. I knew it was under, and I'm like, you know what? Why not? And then right after that, they accepted the offer, and it kind of the experience was very easy with you. And obviously, even I know the first house was a while ago. I think it's been over 10 years for the first house.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
both experiences were very easy, and I think that's why also, my daughter's mother, whom I bought the first house with, is going to work with you again. I mean, because it's very easy. You make it kind of like, how do I put it? There's no drama. It's not stressful. You make a situation where, okay, you're probably going to spend $30,000 in the next 3 weeks for a down payment, closing costs, and whatever. And instead of stressing out, I was like, huh, I'm going to spend $30,000, but I'm going to own this beautiful home. This is mine, and it just made it a lot easier. So I think that's a big reason you and I connected too. And we have some similarities, and I just think that it made it very easy, and that's why we trust you, the family trusts you. And I think that anybody I talk to that I know that has used you or I've referred to you, everybody has nothing but good things to say. So, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously we'll continue using you, and I mean, I love my house right now, so we'll see where that goes. But we're in a good situation, and we owe a lot of that to you. You helped us find this place, and it worked out. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, it's funny. I've had I don't know, 4 or 5 recent deals I've put together. And it's so important to me that the client feels like a client, feels like a priority, feels like they are working with a professional that is one step ahead of their every thought. So
Mhm.
that I'm okay, here's the thing that comes next, and here's what we're going to do next, and here's this, and here's that. And I didn't have it down when I was new, but what I did have when I was new was a lot of heart
Yeah.
and a lot of hard work. I mean, I worked hard. I still work hard, but I'm morning to night,
Yep.
and always thinking and always putting other people first. But those 4 transactions I've had recently, I mean, I'm finishing a phone call with these people, and the kindness and the appreciation. I know a lot of my colleagues don't don't tell me they have that experience as much. And I'm really grateful that I've been able to build a career that has that result. And it's a pay it forward attitude I have. Did you get my invitation from a client appreciation
Oh,
party?
yes, and we will be there. We are excited.
Um,
That's going to be a lot of fun. This will be if I'm not mistaken, it's my third party for you because the last couple ones we were away. So we're excited for that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh my God, yeah, we're gonna give away. I mean, the last one I had, JD, and I have like the video in my email.
Mm.
The people we sold our house in Milford,
Yep.
and they bought a house here in Trumbull, and they were 2 school teachers with 3 children.
Oh,
That's
wow.
not a lot of money. That's not a lot of money, and
Yeah.
and 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 that's a lot of a lot of life going on.
Yeah.
And I was able. They got up and they started crying,
Yeah. Yep.
and I sent the whole family because their choice. I thought they'd go away alone. But
Yeah.
no, 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 they wanted to bring their kids, and they all went to Club Med. I paid for the airfare, I paid for the thing,
Awesome.
and all that. And this time, I mean, when the first couple times I did it, people, I was like, do you want the money or the vacation? Oh, well, of course we're going to take the money, right? That's like, no, 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 you got to go on a vacation. You
Yeah,
plan.
yeah,
And I'm just really excited to do that again. And I can't wait. And we're going to have music, and we're going to have, I'm trying to figure out Mexican food and
yeah.
margaritas. I'll work on it. It'll be what it'll be.
Honestly, I mean that's awesome. And like I said, I've been to a few of them. They were great. I mean, you can't go wrong with margaritas. The food can be whatever, but you can't go wrong with margaritas.
I got a couple of people working it to do what
Yeah,
they're,
yep, absolutely.
you know,
Now, question for you, Fred. I had a good question here.
sure.
From what I've seen the last couple of years, there's a lot of, what would you say? I guess outside of Connecticut, a lot of New Yorkers and whatnot. A lot of people moving. Is that still going on? Moving into Connecticut and moving, or is it kind of changing now and going? How's that going?
The borough
The
that they
city and
came
the
from.
nightlife and all that. Yep.
And that and all that. Instead, what we found in the last, so COVID was what, 2021, 22,
Yeah.
23, and 24.
Yep.
We're working out of COVID. 24 is completely out of COVID. I still have a ton of people with New York license plates coming to the area because their friends are bragging how great it is. I don't know. It's not that I don't love the homes I'm selling in the area I live in, but I
Yeah.
wonder sometimes if that's not some self-serving friends begging for their buddies to come to Connecticut. So I think that's what they're doing, and I'm seeing a
Yeah.
lot of New Yorkers, and they all say the same thing. You know, my friend,
Yeah.
I really like it. So
Yeah.
instead of people leaving, they're attracting more, which has contributed to this crazy, crazy, crazy market. That
Yeah.
below the interest rates did a number on the psyche of the consumer.
I mean, we got pretty lucky when you sold us our house, or I say when you helped us buy the house. There you
Oh,
go. But the interest rate worked out pretty well. I mean, I remember you and I talking about it, and I was like, I'm really nervous about this interest rate, and you were 100% spot on. You said, listen, if you wait 6 more months, you're gonna call me back and say, Fredda, we should have did it 6 months ago. And the interest rate we have now to the point where everything is now, I'm like, wow, you were spot on. And I think that's why a lot of people trust you. I think that's why you're at the top of your game. If I'm not mistaken, if I can say this correctly, you've probably been at the top of your game for 15 years plus.
Yeah, I was rookie of the year, 1997, my first year in real estate.
1987. Okay.
Yep, I was. They used to call me the kid in the office.
And I think that's why everybody goes to you because yes, you're compassionate, you care, but you're always spot on.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember I would ask you questions, and if it was about numbers, you would be within $50 of what I asked, and you were right there.
Yeah, it's fun. That I can't remember my kid's birthday sometimes.
Listen, my wedding anniversary is tattooed on my wrist, so I mean, I have to do certain things sometimes.
I'm like, all right, born on the 11th, one was born on the 10th, one was born on the 9th.
Um,
Old are they?
no, that's funny, and I'm glad to see though that during COVID, like you kept thriving. I mean, because I did see again some of my friends and people I know that aren't in the business as long, but COVID really destroyed them. It kicked their ass. Excuse my language. I mean, it put them in a situation when they were like, I can't be an agent anymore. I need to have some sort of job besides this because one, I'm sure it was difficult, and we did that with you where you're going to the house with masks on.
Right.
You're doing private showings where you can't go in the house. Like I remember when we were living down on Point Beach in Milford down near the water, they would do showings, and the agent would be outside, and the people would just walk in by themselves with the masks on. And I give you credit. I don't know how you did it, but that was an interesting time.
It's always fun. It was hard when I was a brand new agent, but do you remember what I
Yeah.
did before I got into real estate?
Oh man. I don't. I don't.
I ran a home daycare in my basement. I had six
Okay.
children underneath the age of 5, two underneath the age of 2, about 10 hours a day, 5 days a week, plus my own 3 children after they were gone. And it was the hardest life you could ever imagine living. My first
Yeah.
real estate was a cakewalk. I was like, I could do this all day. So,
That's
it's
that's
all
awesome.
perspective. So I've always worked really hard, and everything is hard. It's really hard right now. And what am I doing? I'm reaching out to my clients. I'm actually giving,
Yeah.
saying, hey, let's do a giveaway. I'm mailing to all of a large area, and I'm saying, hey, I'm doing free workshops at the library about what's going on with real estate commissions today, which is
Yep.
another conversation. And you gotta, I mean, constantly being creative. And if you were to ask me about real estate as a career, I'd say it's an entrepreneurial career where you're running your own business, and you've got to be really creative, and you got to love what you do. Because if you don't love what you do, you should change what you do.
Well, and it's funny that you say that. I'm gonna jump onto that because I've been at my new position now at FCP Euro for 3 years, and I remember you and I talked about it numerous times when I was at Toyota because I had met you there. I believe you're at one point your son was looking at the car.
And maybe
Yep.
Rachel and Thomas, we both went in.
I think yes, it was. I met both of them. Yep. And we talked about it and we had our own conversations. And I told you, listen, it's a commission based business. Could I make great money? Yes, and I did well at times. But then I realized, and I'm sure as you did when your kids were young, it's do I want to work 9 to 7 on a Saturday? Do I want to work 9 to 7 on a Sunday? And now I have a normal schedule.
Nice.
I get out at 6 o'clock at night, and the weekends I get to go to Hannah's softball games. And I think that was a big conversation you and I had. You're like, if you're not happy with what you're doing, you really need to not even look at yourself in the mirror. It's just you said, listen, go find something you enjoy.
I say, if it's not fun, don't do it. They said, well, I have to. I'm like, no, you don't.
And it's funny when I had got separated and divorced, that's what I thought. And obviously at that time, I think for those first couple of years, I will say I didn't necessarily have a choice there. I think it was where I was like, you know what, we have to do this now. I have to work here, and this is all I have right now. But it made sense. It was great. And I made that move once you and I talked, and 3 years later, I couldn't be happier. I mean, this is something that I guess you could say I dreamed about. I mean, I have a job that I enjoy going to. My coworkers are great, and I get home at a good time. I mean, this is fun. I mean, I'm 35 years old and I'm enjoying
You
myself.
got a positive mindset and a lot of joy.
I
And you
do.
give a lot
I
of
do.
love.
Things
I
are,
mean, that's part of it. You always love. It's
yeah,
very helpful in car sales or in real estate sales or whatever. But equally speaking, in any job, you feeling
yep.
like that, And if you're not,
No,
I'm
absolutely.
really glad you found it. That's so awesome.
What would you say? So kind of a couple different questions. What would you say your biggest highlight of your real estate career is or was or maybe you haven't hit that yet? Is there something that really stands out for you that was like your biggest highlight?
So it's funny, you know how I do acting?
Yeah.
I did a
Yep.
show last year, and
Hmm.
it was really hard. I had a lot of lines to memorize. It was during
Hmm.
COVID, so we had double casts, and it was a great show. Everybody that came to see me at the end of it, like, just held on to me and said, "You made me cry, you made me laugh," and it was a
Yeah.
really incredible experience. I got off the stage and I said to myself, "I like real estate better." I mean, I wasn't
Really?
making money, but I didn't have enough fun. As great as that
Okay.
was. I mean, what's really bad is when you do a play and people go, "Oh, that was weird." That's
Yeah.
bad. But people
Yeah. No,
feel
absolutely.
so hard. So if you're to ask me what has been the highlight of my career, I would say it's
Hmm.
getting to the point where I really know that I've always called myself a real estate therapist, but I mean, I really am. I listen to people, I hear what they want, I hear and then I've got the skill level to help them get there. And
Okay.
I
Yeah.
love having achieved that, especially when times get hard and people get stressed out. I can see it coming
Yeah.
and do my very best to keep them from going into stress. And I love that. I love it.
And that's awesome. And again, you did that for us. Obviously, Tara and I both. Tara's more the level-headed, relaxed, just like, okay, but she's the one that, I come home and she makes sure that everything is just pinpoint, finances, everything. I mean, I can handle them as well, but she's phenomenal. And I think that's where, like with me, I relax. Like I come home, I help with what she needs. We clean together, we cook together. I have been really enjoying cooking lately with her. I'm starting to try to figure out how to cook a little bit more. Nothing like a nice glass of red or white wine and cooking dinner together. It's fun. It's different. I guess I guess you could say 6, 7 years ago. I mean, you've known me a long time. I was kind of a different person. And now I still go to the gym every day and try to stay healthy and whatnot. But now I'm doing more of the treadmill and yoga as opposed to actually lifting weights. I enjoy yoga. I do yoga every single day.
Try to Pilates or ever yoga lattes. Yoga lattes are fun.
I have heard of that. You know what I want to try though? I want to try that Bikram yoga where it's really hot. I want to see how that goes. Makes me
My son
nervous, but I want to
Thomas
try
said to
it.
Derek, he's like, oh, Mom, you gotta come and do hot yoga. And Derek's like, no, I sweat.
Well, it's funny you say that too, because I kid you not, I come home on lunch and I will shower because I don't actually like sweat.
A room with a bunch of people at once. I mean, like, if I'm working out fine or in the gym or going for a jog,
Yeah.
but being in a room, ooh, I don't know.
No, you put me in a room with too many people and it's just me. I'm not, obviously everybody sweats, but I haven't done it, but I'd rather just get the Botox and not sweat at all. But,
Gosh, that's crazy.
but no, Freda, that's great though. I mean, it's like let me ask you this because what I kind of want to, I guess, maybe finish up with and just really like we had talked about earlier. You have all these agents that are just starting
Yeah.
out, younger, even if you're older and just starting out. I guess let's give them a couple. So one, I guess let them know, what's ahead for them or kind of what to look for right now with what's going on in the economy. And I guess two, and you explained it, but a little bit more, how not to get stressed out. How to, kind of just get those referrals and really get yourself out there, or maybe some pointers, kind of just, what to do instead of just, maybe cold calling all day or, looking at emails. What would you recommend for somebody just breaking into the business?
Yeah, I mean, it is a career and you have to treat it like a career. It was easier years ago to break into the business and to tell people, hey, I'm a real estate agent. Would you please use me? I started with a team my very first time, and that was when teams were brand new. And I did
Yep.
that because I knew that people wouldn't want to just use somebody who didn't know anything about real estate suddenly. And if you're on a team and you've got the team person mentoring you, I think it's what you should do. And if you're a new real estate agent and you're floundering, I would find a team that really would support you in your personal development, but that personal development has to come from within them. They have to read books, they have to take training, they have to listen to, podcasts or whatever on real estate.
Yeah.
And sales is not just opening a door and, oh, you like it, let's do it. It's helping somebody do it. It's helping them get out of their own way, or recognizing that they're making a mistake and pulling them back and saving them. I mean, it's a lot. But if you're on a good team with somebody that you trust, and there's some great team leaders out there, and you put the time in for training and self-development, you will always do well. Now, today's market, the fact is that despite the same number of real estate agents, we have half the houses selling. There's 50%
Yep.
less sales. Now, yes,
Yep.
prices are up 40%. So that really kind of evens out to about 30% reduction. But we also have commissions dropping pretty rapidly. So it's hard to really make a lot of money. And I know you're talking about maybe bringing on another tenured agent that really did very well making money for themselves and that can talk
Yep.
specifically about the importance of investments. Let me tell you something. Nobody believes me. I mean it when I say it. The average price of a house is going to be $1 million before this is over. period.
Oof.
Every houses are going to be just right below 1 million or 1 million
Wow.
plus. Kind of like they were under 100,000 when my parents bought,
Yeah, yeah.
over 100,000 within 10 years. It's the same thing, only it's
Yep.
under 1 million and over 1 million. And as those prices go up and the interest rates are going up right with it, there's still
Hmm.
be enough business out there for people. It won't change if you know what you're doing and you're on a good team and you take training and you work hard, you can do it, but you got to treat it like a business. And if you don't know how to run your own business because you have
Hmm.
problems with your own self-motivation, maybe you're better off in a company structure where you're making a real
Yep.
salary and you could excel within that team and come
Mhm.
home in the evening and
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, Freda. That's and everybody out there obviously listening, this is huge. Freda has given us you guys some very good information. I just bought my house, and if anybody would like to speak to Freda, maybe as a referral, anything like that, please reach out to me. I will send her your way. And Freda, that this has been great. I appreciate you coming on. And as always, everyone, this is JD Lewis with Untamed Conversations. And like I said, this has been my friend Freda. And if anybody needs anything, real estate, housing, anything like that, please reach out and I'll send you her way.
yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Freda.
please do, everybody. Thank you so much. Fredda Takacs from the Fredda team at Coldwell Banker Realty.
Ever feel run down, get bad migraines, or get sick often? Maybe you drank too much the night before and can't get out of bed. Want to add some extra vitamins into your life to help your skin and metabolism? Well, I know exactly how to fix that. Get Your Drip On is a mobile IV clinic run by a registered nurse in New Haven, Connecticut area. She will come to your house and literally hook you up. Talk about convenience. She will hook you up with the fluids you need to give yourself that extra kick. Get Your Drip On offers IV fluid bags of immunity boosting, energy, weight loss, hangover cure, skin repair, performance, and recovery. Call Get Your Drip On at 475 209 3409 or message on Instagram at Get Your Drip On to book an appointment now.